Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. During my last Google Hangout, I briefly mentioned Kanye West and the controversy surrounding his recent casting call. This brother has come under fire because he said that he only wanted multiracial women to participate in his casting call. And as many people have said, essentially he is saying that he wants light-skinned women to participate in this casting call. For all intents and purposes, he could have said no colored girls allowed, no black women allowed, because that's essentially what he is saying. And in response to this casting call, thousands of people appeared. Many of them were there to participate in the casting call, but there were also some protesters. And one protester stood out. This sister went topless and she wrote on her flesh, "They want black features, but no black girls." She did this in protest against Kanye West's casting call for only multiracial women. So as a result of her protests, this issue has received more attention and a lot of people are talking about it. And I just want to briefly share my thoughts about the situation. The thing is, here you have a dark-skinned black man who is discriminating against his own women, against black women. This is a brother who obviously has color issues. He dated Amber Rose, a very light woman, a woman who is barely black. And I don't even know if she's really black, but she says she's part black from what I understand. And then he's married to a white woman. So obviously he has color issues. And really, you see this problem a lot with dark-skinned black men. Even though dark-skinned black men don't face the same kind of problems that dark-skinned black women face, because there's like a double standard, but still a lot of dark-skinned men still have color issues because a lot of them were teased just like black women were teased for being dark-skinned. I remember growing up, there was this young brother who was ridiculed simply because he had a dark complexion. They had all these dark skin jokes. And it kind of reminds me of that scene in Jungle Fever where Wesley Snipes is talking about how he was called all these derogatory names growing up. And we hear a lot of this stuff here on YouTube. This is not new information. We've been hearing this stuff all our lives. Because black people still suffer from psychological slavery. We still bear the chains of psychological bondage because many of us still hate our African features. We still hate the melanin in our skin. We still hate the darkness of our skin. Why else will we make fun of people for being dark skinned? Why else will we call people crispy and charcoal and blackie and all these other derogatory terms if we didn't hate ourselves? Even people that are supposedly conscious. You know, you got this one brother, he has all these films about melanated people and hidden colors and all this and that. But even he is not immune to this problem of self-hatred. Even he has issues of color. Even he makes fun of people's complexion. Even he is color struck. So it's a deep-rooted problem that many dark-skinned brothers face, and just black people in general. And it's not just these black men, some of these black men that have these color issues. It is the society in which we live. We live in a society that's based on the myth and lie of white supremacy, a society that celebrates European features and elevates Europeans and uses them as some kind of barometer or standard for beauty. They use that image, they present that image on television, in the magazines, everywhere, in all the media. So naturally, people are taught the lie that the white woman is some kind of standard of beauty. And all this stuff, this environment, this toxic environment destroys the esteem of our sisters, completely destroys it. You have black women who are ashamed of their skin, and some women go to the extent they're so ashamed of their skin, of their color, of their darkness, of their beautiful black skin, that they actually go to the extreme of actually bleaching their skin. Not just in America or in the Caribbean, but also in the motherland of Africa. You have black people, African women and men bleaching their skin, destroying their natural skin in order to look like their colonizer, to look like their oppressor, to look like their former slave master. That's how deep the psychosis is. Some of our people are so ashamed of their hair that they actually put all kinds of toxic chemicals in their head, destroying their hair. And not only that, they either wear wigs or they put someone else's hair into their hair so that they can look more and more non-African. That's how much our people have been taught to hate themselves. And the sad thing is, it's not just an idea or myth that is promoted by the dominant society. That lie and myth is promoted even in our own households. When people are told that they have good hair and bad hair based on how white like their hair looks. If someone is light, they're told that they're beautiful in many households. Whereas if somebody is dark, they're told that they shouldn't be out in the sun too long and all that kind of stuff. And then you have these rap artists who are popular, these modern day minstrels called rap artists. They talk about how they don't want to be with dark skinned women. That's how sick our people are. Talk about how a woman would look better red. That's how sick our people are. And the funny thing is, you got this brother Kanye West. He actually had a song where he was talking about how once he gets on, he'll leave a dark or a black woman for a white woman. He was joking about it, but it turns out to be real. Because that's literally what he did. So it's just a sad situation. It's terrible to see a black man participate in the discrimination against his own black women. We are becoming the tools of our own oppression. You see this stuff here on YouTube as well. You have black men who basically have turned hatred against women into a cottage industry here on YouTube, where all they do all day and night is blame the black woman for everything, where all they do is find opportunities to bash the black woman. They look for examples of bad behavior and they use those examples to tarnish and shame all black women and judge all black women as a collective. These same step and fetch it house Negro minstrels, they don't do that when it comes to white women. They're not looking for bad examples of white women's behavior to call out, but they go out of their way to call out the black woman, to shame the black woman, to degrade the black woman. And that's a disgrace. And the sad thing is, this very society that tramples upon the black woman also has the audacity to try to appropriate black people's culture and black women's beauty. These same people that view themselves as superior to black people, they're the same people who tan their skin to look like black people, like Malcolm X pointed out. These are the same people that inject fluid in their lips and engage in all kinds of surgeries and stuff like that so they can have fuller lips and so that they can have fuller hips so that they can look like black women. These same people braid their hair so that they can look like black women, while at the same time their society tears apart and tramples upon the black woman. This is a disgrace. And we need to really get to a point where this stuff is called out and condemned. Not just by black women, but by black men. We can no longer afford to participate in our own oppression. When we see stuff like this, we have to stand up against it. We have to boycott it. We can't endorse it. And this is just another reminder of hypocrisy. I remember when Kanye West called out the racism of Bush during Hurricane Katrina. He said Bush doesn't care about black people. Apparently, neither does Kanye West. Because if he really cared about the black community and black women, why would he discriminate against black women? This brother was singing about the new slaves, a song about mass incarceration. But what about the mass incarceration of the mind? This brother, Kanye West, is a new slave. He's a slave to white supremacy because he, like so many other brothers and sisters, still believe the light skin is superior. So even though I don't necessarily condone how this sister protested by going topless and all that kind of stuff, I'm glad that she helped bring attention to this issue. And I hope that more people talk about this, because we got to get to a point where we free ourselves psychologically. That's the first step towards freedom. You can't free yourself as long as you're still in mental bondage. This brother Kanye West is always whining and complaining about how people don't give him a fair shot in fashion and with these awards. I remember him having tantrums back in the day about not getting recognized. But yet this man doesn't even recognize his own black women. It's a damn shame. So those are my thoughts about this. Tell me what you think. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Peace.